Hi, I'm Nick Pawson. You're watching News 24 Live. Well, of course, this week, MEC started to write their final exams, with the government hoping that the pass rate will be better than last year. I'm joined in studio by Western Cape Provincial Minister of Education, Debbie Shaver, to talk to us about the exams. Debbie, welcome. Thanks for fitting us into your, what I'm sure is a busy schedule for you this week.
It is indeed. Thank you very much. Nice to be with you.
So Monday, English, the general consensus was that it went relatively well, at least in the Western Cape. I believe you were at Belgravia High School in Athlone. How did the guys find it?
Yes, I was there. They were quite optimistic and upbeat about it. We were expecting a bit of a mixed reaction, but it was overwhelmingly positive for English. I think they're a little bit more nervous perhaps for some other subjects, but it was good, yeah.
And any glitches other than there was apparently an accident on the N1 forcing a number of students to be late for their exams, and I believe the sort of ruling is if you're an hour late, you have to write the supplementary exam. Has there been any other problems?
No. Let's just first clarify that the general rule is if you are up to an hour late, you can carry on writing, but you don't then get the full time. You only get the balance of the time.
Okay.
But because this was an exceptional circumstance and it affected quite a number of our learners, accommodation was made for them to write, to start late and to finish in the full allocated time. So they were not compromised, and they don't have to write this up.
Okay, but other than that, no other problems.
There's been no other problems that I've heard about, which I would have done if they were significant. So no, it seems to be going fairly well so far.
Now let's just talk about the sort of projected pass rate. Last year was a record in the Western Cape, 40,500 odd. You're hoping for 43,000 this year. Now that's out of how many writers?
We have a total of 61,065 writing altogether. Of those, 49,271 are full-time. So it's effectively out of 61,000 in total. So yes, we are. It would be an increase of 2,442 compared to last year. We are confident of achieving more. We are obviously hoping it's a bit of a stretch target, the 43,000, but we're certainly confident of it being more in number than last year. And that is in line with our strategy of trying to ensure that we keep more people in school to write up to MEC instead of dropping out. So we will be very happy with that.
And I mean, is the pass rate progressively increasing across the provinces, as far as you know?
I can't recall. I don't have the statistics for all the other provinces. I know the pass rates were increasing last year in the Free State and in Gauteng and in one other province, Northwest, in fact. But the problem with that is that even though the rates were increasing, the numbers were not. So when you look at the statistics and compare them with the number of learners who were in grade 10 and those who wrote MEC, we were by far the highest. So the Free State, for example, had 45% of their grade 10s who actually wrote MEC, whereas we had 65%, which is huge. So even though we officially slipped in the rankings as such, we weren't number one percentage in the country. We were, when you look at our overall performance, we were not much off that in our percentage, but we were increased in our numbers. So as far as we're concerned, we actually came out tops.
So what is the Western Cape doing better than other provinces are, or not?
Well, we're doing a lot of things, and one of the things we are doing is we're writing our systemic tests, which some people don't like because they're extra tests. In addition to the ANAs, which Minister Macheka has implemented. But the reason why we do that is because they are more accurate than the ANAs. And what we do is we have the systemic tests now, which we've broadened over the years to grade 3, 6, and 9 every year now. And through those tests, we can measure where we are doing well and where we aren't doing well, and use those results to inform our strategies to improve. So we use those. Every school gets the results of those tests every year. And they can then see where their weaknesses are, and they are then asked to draw up a school improvement plan. So we are holding them accountable and trying to assist them to help identify where weaknesses are, so we can then improve those weaknesses every year. We also are encouraging competency testing for principals when new principals are appointed, so we can make sure we get good people in place there. It's critical that the principal quality is critical to a school. If you have a good principal who leads the school, it makes a huge difference to the whole school. So we're doing that. We are doing, what else are we doing? We have had a literacy and numeracy strategy also over the last 5 years, which we now are wanting to deepen and strengthen over the next 5, which has shown a consistent increase. Before 2009, there was decreases in all of our key indicators. And since then, they have been improving. So they aren't where we want them to be yet, but they are certainly improving. So we're obviously doing something right as far as those strategies are concerned. And we're wanting to strengthen those in the next 5 years. As well as expand in other areas like broadband and e-learning. That's one of our big focuses now for the next 5 years.